Hi, I'm Madison.
Hi, I'm Claire.
Hi, I'm Peyton.
And I'm Lydia.
I'm Mary Morgan.
And I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen now. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Oh,
beautiful.
cool. Okay, so for my programming, I started off with 2 days of, can y'all see y'all's faces on there or just my dog?
I can see it.
Oh, cool. So I started off with 2 days of moderate cardio and 1 day of vigorous cardio a week, as well as 2 days of strength training, one focused on upper body and one focused on lower body. And so as the program continues, I took away some of the moderate and kept replacing it with vigorous for the cardio. And then here towards the end, I bumped it up to 3 days of strength training a week by adding a full body day in there. And so each week I just had around a 7 to 10 increase in foot mileage as well as weekly volume load to prompt progressive overload without pushing it too hard.
I like
For
the
7 to 10
color.
increase, is it 7 to 10% or 7 to 10 miles? Or what did you
Oh
say?
yeah, 7 to 10% for foot mileage and for volume load.
Oh, okay. Great.
I like the color scheme a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely helps my brain organize it all.
It's kind of cool to see how we both did the same thing on the calendar, like using a calendar, but we're all probably going to look different with
Yeah.
how it actually looks. Okay, I can share mine now. Share screen. Can you all see it?
It says sharing it, but it looks black right now.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. For my calendar, so I divided it up into months because I made this prescription for somebody that would be similar to me, so somebody that is going to be on break soon. So I did it for over December, January, and February, and basically I did 3 days of strength training because that is my main goal. And I have a total of 4 days of exercise per week. And 3 of those days, like I said, were dedicated to strength training. And I begin my volume at around 15,000 pounds per week because my individual has a strength training experience under her belt. So therefore, she has a higher training age. And then throughout the weeks, I go following a 3-to-1 loading paradigm. So they progressively get a little bit higher volume loads each week, 8 to 11% increases, followed by the 4th week, it decreases back down. And then every month, so from December to January to February, each of those weeks within the 3-to-1 would be a 5% increase from the week before, so that she's continually pushing herself so she can increase her muscle fitness. And that total volume load is just increasing. And then as to aerobic training, I did 2 short vigorous intensity trainings during the lower body and whole body days. And then just like a moderate intensity recreational activity on Saturdays, just kind of as a recovery, but still getting in some aerobic minutes. And that was typically things that she would enjoy, like biking, racquetball, lacrosse. And those were just to maintain general health and wellness recommendations for cardiorespiratory fitness.
Looks good.
That's awesome. I also use the 3-1 loading paradigm. I feel like that helps make the program seem a little bit less scary.
Yes, I
agree.
agree.
And like doesn't like make you tired of your program if you like it'll boost people's interest in continuing with it if you have like a rest to look forward to.
I also
like
like
doesn't
how you
overstimulate.
change the cardio activities. Like I kind of did something similar to keep it fun.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna help. I think I'm gonna try to use this over break, so I think switching it up will be good.
Okay, I will share my screen now. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, So basically, I'm just showing you my like first week. I'm not going to show you all of them, but my 3-month or like 12-week program began with like 2 days of cardio or aerobic training at a moderate intensity, and 2 days of strength training for upper and lower body regions. And so like every other week, as you can see, like I do either, so the first week has 2 days of strength training and then the next week has 3 days. So when I only do 2 days, I also include vigorous training. And basically like I increase each week for my strength training by 5 to 10%. And same with my aerobic training, I increase 5 to 10%. And I also include like a warm up and a cool down every day. And then on the weekends, I just like to rest. So as you can see, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just rest. And but sometimes on the weekends, since it's like 3 days in a row without working out, I'll include like a hike or a bike ride or swimming or something like fun and like at leisurely intensity.
What's the why is some of it highlighted in blue and some yellow?
Okay, yes. So that is the push and pull exercises. So if it's yellow, it's a push exercise, and if it's like that blue color, it's a pull exercise. So I also follow like the push pull method for strength training.
I like that a lot. I think that's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's really a nice visual.
Thank you. Do I stop sharing? How do I do this? 1 second. Oh, there we go.
All right. So for my program, I'll start screen sharing actually right now. Okay. So I started, can y'all see? Oh wait. There we go. Can y'all see?
Yes.
So I started off with a moderate intensity and for running for my aerobic exercise, and then for strength training, I stuck to 2 days a week, 1 day specifically for lower body and 1 day for upper body. And I kept this really consistent. However, I added progression with the weekly volume load and the foot mileage as well as my individual me has a goal of running an 8-mile run. So I organized it like this, and I showed progression by increasing the percent RM that I was working at by 5% every 3 weeks. And I also followed the 3 to 1, loading paradigm. So I felt like that really gave me a more realistic perspective of my program versus something that was impossible. And I also tried to remain consistent with my pattern of rest days and what I was doing.
So you kept the same rest days throughout?
Yes, I tried to keep them because since it was for myself, I have like a schedule with work, so I tried to do it like that.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely helps with adherence too, because it's like you get used to your schedule and you're able to really implement it into your life. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Routine is really helpful, I feel like. So I did the same thing.
All right, I'm gonna start sharing my screen too. Okay, so like for mine, can y'all see it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
For mine, I started with 3 days of cardio on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just because like I thought that'd be the easiest way to do it with getting enough rest. And Tuesday and Thursday were my like days dedicated for strength training, and I rotated between doing upper body, core, and lower body. So like I'll do 2 of those every week, and the reason like I did it like that was just so it would strengthen my entire body over the whole time. And like I wanted to slowly improve my exercise endurance, and I also wanted to make sure I enjoyed it. So like I included like hiking on Fridays mostly. And every week I added 10% of mileage, and there was around a 3% progressive overload in the intensity on both the percent RM, 1 RM, and the heart rate. And yeah, I just did it increasing slowly so I didn't burn myself out too quickly, and to make sure that the exercise volume I was doing was sustainable over a long period of time.
Just to talk about the time aspect of the Fit VP, how much did everyone spend about like approximately per week exercising? I think I, in total per week, would have been about 3 to 4 hours.
I like started 150 minutes the first week and I added 30 minutes every week.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I did too. But I also like I kind of added my strength training to my time just to like make sure I wasn't overdoing it or like underdoing it, just so I knew the exact time like I was working out.
That's what I did too, just to make it more realistic. And so I think I started around 150 minutes per week and I ended around like 320 minutes per week.
I really like Mary Morgan how you incorporated like core exercises because that's like one thing I really like working out is like my abs and core. So I like how you did that.
Literally, I only did that because I never do that and I need to get so much better about it.
I also like how you brought up the importance of rest because I feel like that's something that I didn't realize the importance of before, how most of your gains are made when you're resting afterwards instead of like when you're grinding it out. And so I think realizing that and planning for that was very smart.
I also feel like rest avoids you getting burnt out and kind of done with the goal. So I feel like it helps you be successful.
Yeah, I totally agree with both Lydia and Madison. How awesome that was, Mary Morgan. Just like I thought that was one of the most interesting tiny points we talked about this semester was how your muscle actually builds when it's sore, like when it's recovering, and you're breaking it down when you're working out. I feel like that's something I've heard in other classes, but never really set in until we talked about it specifically in detail. So that was really cool how you made sure to incorporate that.
So what is your guys's like population like? Like did everyone like kind of pick themselves or did anyone like pick someone for their like parents or something for someone else?
I feel like it sounded like everybody picked themselves, which is really cool because I feel like that makes our programs like we can compare them, but we also have different goals. So that was cool to see. So just for mine, I picked me. So I'm a 22-year-old healthy female college student, and then my goals are just general overall fitness and full body toning. So nothing too specific on the strength training. But I do have specific goals on the running to just get more comfortable running longer periods of time, and so that's why kind of my program was geared more towards the running. So it was cool to see that some of y'all's programs were geared more towards strength.
Yeah, I like that. And like for mine, I also picked myself. I like designed this program for myself and kind of the population of like women who were athletes in like high school and like came to college and kind of stopped working out because that's where I am. So like I used to be able to run like 5 to 6 miles because I played soccer like a game. And now I go outside and could barely run one in like a good amount of time. So I'm kind of excited to like make this program for myself and just to try to like I incorporate like the strength training and stuff just to get my muscles toned and like the cardio because I really believe like cardio was the best workout for like a full body workout. And like the goals for like myself were kind of just to like increase my physical fitness overall and like be healthier, have toned muscles and like possibly lose a little extra like fat if it's there, it's there. But yeah, that's basically what I designed mine for.
Yeah, mine was kind of similar. just like the whole being an athlete in high school.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of going off what both of you said, Madison and said that she focused more on running. I kind of did the opposite and focused a little bit more on strength training. Um, and this isn't necessarily specifically for me, but I will be using this. But I did make this program for somebody who has some experience with strength training, but has never stuck to a specific training schedule. A lot of that's from like getting burnt out or like not really knowing exactly what to do when, which does apply to me. So the whole goal for this is really just to have something that's easy to understand and easy to stick to. So stuff that included things that I wanted to do. But yeah, it was made for a 21-year-old healthy female that has experience in training but wants to stick to something and get better. Her priorities are to improve in muscle fitness and strength level, just kind of meet the cardiorespiratory fitness general health requirements and slowly increase that, but that's not the main goal. Just maintain current body weight, and those are just kind of my main priorities for my population.
So going off of that, I designed the program for myself because I felt like I could really make it personal because I was making it for myself. And I am a 20-year-old female. I'm almost 21. And I'm an overall a pretty active individual, and I'm free of injuries, and I have little to zero strength training experience. So I just want to gain more experience with my strength level. And I also, more specifically, I want to run 8 miles consistently because I really hate to run. And I'm really slow and bad at it. So I just wanted to become better at that. And so I just want to increase my endurance in that field.
It made me laugh when you said you hate running because I also have such like a love-hate relationship. Like once you've been out for so long, it's so gross to come back. But then when you're doing good, it's so rewarding. It's
For sure. It's like the best thing after you finish, but before, when you're looking at the hill and you're about to run up it, no.
exactly.
Yeah, kind of going off that, mine, like I really wanted to like improve my running. So like I started slowly and like progressed my running throughout. And my population was for myself. So a 21-year-old healthy individual. And like my whole thing is that I'm just like a lot more sedentary than I would like to be. And I also really focused on like improving core strength because I had a back injury in high school. And so if you don't have good core strength, you overcompensate for stuff with your back and like that leads to re-injury. So I just wanted to like improve my core strength to reduce the likelihood of re-injury and just have overall health benefits and also just like potentially lose like a little bit of the quarantine 15 kind of deal. But yeah.
I think that's really cool how you specifically zoned it on the core because of your previous back injury. Did anybody else have any injuries?
I haven't had one in a while. I probably should be working out more if I haven't had an injury, but no, I haven't had one.
I haven't had one either, but I did throw a couple extra hamstring things in my program just because it kind of freaked me out when we were talking about how um, your like risk of tearing your ACL is higher as a female just because of our hips. So I was like, oh, we're gonna put some extra support in there, but nothing's happened yet. Knock on wood, of course. So, are y'all ready to switch gears to like how we met our needs?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I feel like I kind of accidentally talked about it above a little bit with my goals, but just kind of going back over it, considering that one of my main focuses is just improving my general health, I just made sure to meet or exceed all of the general recommendations for physical activity, but also strength training. But then, so my strength training is pretty basic, but I focused more on my running because I do want to be a better runner. And so I at first I thought about kind of throwing some extra cardio in there, and I on my rest days, I do fun activities, but for the most part, on my training days, I stuck to running just to, like, follow that said principle because the demand that you put on your body directly determines the adaptations. And so if I'm trying to be a better runner, I just got to keep running. And then, yeah, like I said earlier, my strength training was pretty general and I just stuck around like 60 to 75% 1RM to just get strength and hypertrophy gains just overall.
Yeah, I like how you said, or I like how you included like the how you want to gain like hypertrophy. I have a hard time saying that word. Hypertrophy gains, because that's why I kind of included strength training in mine. And like I said before, like used to run like 5 to 6 miles, like 3 to 4 days a week. So it's really like it's really hard for me to like be out of shape and then like go run, and I can barely run one. So like that was kind of like my purpose and goal, was to like, okay, it's okay if you can't run 5 right away. Like it'll be okay. You have to work up to it. So that's what this program was like mainly for, like just working my way up. So I start for my aerobic around like walking like longer distances, like walking like not longer, but 2 to 3 miles like the first week. And then the next week is like 3 to 4 walking. And then the next week is like 5 to 6 walking. But I also add like running 1 to 2, and just to like further my goals and stuff. But I also I'm trying to think what else I included. I don't remember, but I'll get back to that if someone reminds me what they say.
Yeah. So just kind of to meet my how my program met the needs that my individual was going for was, like I said, my main goal was muscle fitness. So I really emphasized progressive overload and the 3-to-1 loading paradigm. Like I kind of talked about a little bit before, but just slowly increasing the total volume load per week and per month. I think this was the most challenging part to like figure out when I was putting this all together. But I also think it was the missing piece I needed from my past experiences with strength training. So that was a really good part to work on during this class. And then also, it's because she wants to meet the general health and wellness and recommendations for cardiorespiratory fitness. I wanted to choose stuff that she would stick to, because even though like we all talk about like running is so great, but if I'm not like at a lacrosse practice and my coach is like telling me to run, I'm just not probably going to stick to it. So I wanted to pick things that I would look forward to doing to like boost my consistency and likelihood of me sticking to the program. So I chose things like lacrosse drills, playing racquetball, playing tennis, things where I will be training my body aerobically in a way that I enjoy. And like, I think this was good for me to put it down like this, because whenever I thought about improving aerobic fitness, I really only thought about running and biking. And I really do enjoy biking, so I included that in here a lot. And I did include some running just to like do it sometimes. And I'll be able to manage this little bits, but in general, I try to choose things I'd enjoy.
Kind of going off on that, one of my goals was to gain more experience in strength training. So strength training is seen consistently in my program, and I feel like my program did a good job of just being consistent and having a clear trajectory towards my goals. So in addition to that, I aim to complete an 8-mile run when I reached the 12-week mark. So running is included 2 days a week, which adheres to the said principle, in order to avoid getting bored of the workouts. Because even though one of my goals is to be able to run 8 miles, some days I don't want to run. So I included a variety of stuff, such as like the stair stepper or jumping rope, which I think is really fun. And I also, since I'm a beginner, I decided to begin at a 55% 1RM, and then I reached an 80% 1RM at week 11. And I started off really slow since I am a beginner. And yeah.
Yeah, for mine, mine was really similar to Claire. One of my main goals was just overall fitness and like improving, like not being so sedentary. So like I really tried to make it enjoyable for myself. So I included hiking a lot in my exercise plan, just because that's something I really like to do, and I feel like it'll help me be more motivated to do it. But I also included running and other strength training for my back injury and stuff. And just like Madison said with the SAID principle, the more you do with your body will adapt to it. And so I also have progressive with that. And and I ended up starting from 60% 1RM at the beginning of my strength training all the way up to 72%. And I start running 6.5 miles at the beginning and finish at 18.52 miles a week. So that's like a pretty large progression. And my intensity of my heart rate increases from 55% to 70%. So it's a pretty gradual change, but again, that's just to be like more realistic and make sure it's like a sustainable throughout.
I think gradual is such a key, and like even with progressive overload, it's like keyword progressive, like you still have to give your body time to adapt for sure. Um, so I remember at the beginning when I was reading through the rubric and he was like, anything creative you included, and I didn't quite know what that would be, but then hearing all of our programs, I think it's really cool that we all like focused on different things, interpreted things different, and we were all kind of accidentally creative in our own ways, which has been really cool to hear about y'all's programs. But I think for mine, something that kind of just made it a little more fun is for my recovery days. I would like write down actual fun activities. It's kind of like Claire was talking about. I want to be having fun so that I'll stick to my program. And so I would write down fun activities for my recovery days, like hiking or bike riding with friends, or like a pickup game of basketball or something like that, just to help keep myself motivated and like sprinkle things that I really enjoy in my program to have stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, going off what you said, Madison, I like kind of did the same thing. I basically incorporated like hiking and like soccer and things like that, especially because like when I go home for break, my family's like they're very active, so we always are doing something. Like we'll be walking on the weekends, we'll be hiking. Like I live in like the hills, so we'll always go on a hike or something. So I'm actually really glad to be like having this training program like set aside for myself when I go home, because I'm much more active at home because my parents are just already like runners and stuff. So I just included like hiking and like fun things on the weekends.
Yeah, basically going off what you guys just said and kind of what I said earlier, but I made sure to have fun with it, pick things that I would enjoy, that I would find fun. I incorporated some color to make the file look more appealing, so like it wouldn't be, oh, I have to go do this work. It's, oh, look how pretty this looks. Maybe I can motivate myself with color. So I just added some of that in there. I just kind of going off also what we were talking about. I really think it's really cool that we all generally made this project for ourselves, and how we talked about how these projects, whenever you make an exercise assessment, it should be specific to the individual. And since we all know ourselves pretty well, we like know what we like, know what we do, know what would be effective. And that really comes across like the differences. Like you said, Madison, we are also creative, did our different things, and like all these plans really are specialized to us and meet our goals individually. And seeing how those differ and like are compatible is really cool.
Definitely. Also, your headings on your calendar were so cute. The little colorful month titles, it made me just already want to do your program before even looking at it.
So similarly, since I designed this program for myself, I kind of know what would work and what would not work. So I also incorporated a lot of color into my calendar and my plan, and I made it really easy and organized and very clear to see, so I wouldn't get confused when I look back on it in like a few weeks to do it. And I also followed a really consistent pattern throughout the program. It was every single Sunday I would do this, every single Tuesday I would do this. And it would just be, I know that would work personally for me because when I wake up, I don't want to like, what do I have to do again? Like just kind of like already know and be prepared to more successfully reach my goals.
Similarly, talking about how like you incorporated stuff like that you'd enjoy to make it creative. I did that with like the hiking because that's something I love and I figured that would help. But also my roommates kind of like asked for some exercise stuff and I figured I'd just show this to them. So I'm gonna share my screen. Uh, let's see. Sorry. I included like pictures of like how describing how to do each like strength exercise just so like they if they hadn't done it before they could like see a demonstration of it and like know like how the form and just like being able to like be confident that they're doing it correctly. Um yeah, I just thought those pictures were really cool and like pretty helpful.
That's so smart. Because I feel like
Yeah.
one of the number one reasons people don't strength train is because they're like scared of the form and scared of the weight room. That's awesome to include.
That also ensures that they'll be, or whoever's doing the program will be safe about it, which would avoid injury. Like that's super duper smart.
Yeah, I also thought about it just because like a lot of those exercises are like the same kind of, but they all have different names. And if it's like a name someone didn't call it and they didn't know what it was, it would help.
And there's so much variation between different names, just like where you're from, who you've been around. There's so much variation, so it's good to clear it up.
Yeah.
It's cool that you said you're doing it with your roommates. Do you think that you guys will all try to do this together or just kind of showing it around to each other? What do you think?
I think I'll probably do it with one of them. The other two, no chance. They say they want to do it, but I just, no way it happens. Yeah, I think that's it though. I really liked y'all's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, guys. It looks really good.
It was cool to see everybody's interpretations.
We'll have to like text and see if anyone really does it.
Hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
How brutal we were with our progressive overloads and everything.
We'll be like a month in and be like, why did I do this to myself? We'll come back, be like super, super big.